It all began on a particularly dreary evening, the kind that makes you feel as if the sun had forgotten to rise. I was sitting in my dimly lit room, surrounded by the soft hum of my computer. The glow of the screen illuminated my face, casting eerie shadows that danced across the walls. I had always been drawn to the mysteries of the internet, particularly the dark web. It was a place where secrets thrived, and curiosity often led to peril. That night, I was aimlessly browsing through forums, reading about conspiracy theories and urban legends. My heart raced with excitement as I stumbled upon a thread titled Future Sight Videos from the Dark Web. Intrigued, I clicked on it, expecting another ghost story or an elaborate hoax. But what I found was something far more sinister. The thread was filled with testimonials from users who claimed to have seen their own futures through videos they had discovered on the dark web. Some described mundane events like getting a promotion at work or attending a family gathering, while others recounted horrific scenarios, accidents, betrayals, and even death. The more I read, the more fascinated I became. Could these videos really show what lay ahead? I felt an inexplicable pull to explore further. After some digging, I found a link embedded in one of the comments, a URL that led to a hidden site known only to those brave enough to traverse the murky waters of the dark web. My heart raced as I clicked on it, a mix of excitement and dread coursing through me. The site loaded slowly, revealing a stark black background with green text that flickered ominously. It felt like stepping into a digital abyss. A list of video files appeared before me, each labeled with cryptic titles like the day it all changed in final moments. My fingers hovered over the mouse as I hesitated, weighing my options. Should I really do this? What if it was all just a scam? But curiosity won out over caution after all. What's life without a little risk? I selected a file titled Your Future Awaits as it began to buffer. I felt an unsettling chill crawl down my spine. The video finally loaded a grainy clip that looked like it had been recorded on an old camcorder. The screen flickered before stabilizing, revealing a dimly lit room similar to mine but eerily different. The camera panned slowly to reveal a figure sitting in front of a desk, their back turned towards me. My heart raced as I leaned closer to the screen. The figure looked just like me, same messy hair and worn-out hoodie, but there was something off about them. They were hunched over, scribbling furiously in what appeared to be a journal. A sense of dread washed over me as I watched. It felt too intimate, too personal. Suddenly, the figure turned around. My breath caught in my throat as I locked eyes with myself. Only this version seemed haunted and hollowed out, eyes sunken and filled with despair. "You shouldn't have come here," my doppelganger whispered in a voice that sent shivers down my spine. "What is this?" I gasped aloud, though no one was there to hear me. The video continued playing as my other self spoke about events that hadn't happened yet, moments filled with anguish and regret that made my stomach churn. I watched helplessly as scenes unfolded, arguments with loved ones, missed opportunities, and dark encounters that left me questioning my choices. Each revelation hit like a punch to the gut. It felt as if someone were peeling back layers of my life and exposing my deepest fears. As the video progressed, it became clear that these weren't just glimpses into potential futures, they were warnings. The last scene showed me standing at a crossroads in an empty street under a flickering streetlight. One path led into darkness while the other glowed faintly with promise. But before I could see which choice I made, the screen went black. I sat there in stunned silence, heart racing and mind reeling from what I had just witnessed. Was this some kind of twisted joke, or had I truly glimpsed what lay ahead? Panic set in as reality crashed down around me. If this was indeed my future, how could I change it? I closed my laptop abruptly, but it didn't help. Those haunting images replayed in my mind like a broken record. No matter how hard I tried to shake them off, they clung to me like shadows in the night. As I lay in bed later that night, sleep eluded me. The darkness seemed thicker than usual, wrapping around me like an unwelcome blanket. Every creak of the house echoed ominously in my ears. Every rustle of leaves outside felt like whispers from another world warning me of impending doom. What had I done? What if those videos were real? The thought gnawed at me until dawn finally broke through my window, a harsh light illuminating everything but providing no comfort. Determined not to let fear control me, I resolved to investigate further into those files and find out who created them and why they seemed so personal. Little did I know that this decision would lead me down an even darker path than before. This segment sets up your story's premise and establishes suspense while introducing key themes of curiosity and foreboding consequences. Let me know if you need any adjustments or additional segments. The morning light filtered through my curtains, casting long shadows across my room. I sat up slowly, still haunted by the images from the video. The figure that looked like me, the dark choices, and the unsettling feeling that I was being watched, it all felt too real. I rubbed my eyes, trying to shake off the remnants of the night's terror, but it clung to me like a bad dream. After a restless breakfast, I decided that I needed answers. I couldn't just ignore what I had seen. It was too significant, too personal. The thought of confronting my future, no matter how horrifying, filled me with a strange mix of dread and determination. I opened my laptop again, steeling myself for what lay ahead. I revisited the dark website where I had found the video. The interface was still as unsettling as before, black background with green text that seemed to pulse with a life of its own. I navigated back to the thread about future videos, hoping to find more information or perhaps even other users who had experienced similar phenomena. Scrolling through the comments, I noticed a user named FutureSeer who claimed to have watched several videos and had insights into their meanings. My heart raced as I clicked on their profile. It was filled with cryptic messages and warnings about tampering with fate. One comment stood out: the future is not set in stone, but it can be twisted by knowledge. Intrigued yet apprehensive, I sent FutureSeer a private message detailing my experience and asking for guidance. Almost immediately, a response popped up: "You've seen something you shouldn't have. Be careful, knowledge can be both a gift and a curse." I felt a chill run down my spine. What did they mean? As I pondered this ominous warning, I noticed another link in their profile, a link to a forum dedicated to discussing these dark web videos in depth. With my curiosity piqued, I clicked on it. The forum was filled with threads discussing various videos that claimed to show future events. Users shared their experiences, some describing mundane moments while others recounted terrifying visions, much like mine. One post caught my eye: "The path you choose." It detailed a video where the user had seen two potential futures, one filled with success and happiness, the other steeped in despair and loss. As I read through the comments, a sense of urgency gripped me. Many users warned against watching too many videos. They claimed it could lead to obsession or even madness. But how could I resist? The need to know what awaited me was overpowering. I decided to delve deeper into this new thread, hoping to find more information about the path you choose. After hours of searching through various posts and links, I finally found a file labeled with that title on an obscure site linked within the forum. My heart raced as I clicked on it. The video loaded slowly, each second stretching into eternity as anticipation mingled with fear. When it finally began, it opened with a serene landscape, a sunlit path winding through a lush forest. Birds chirped cheerfully in the background, creating an almost idyllic atmosphere. But as the camera panned further down the path, an unsettling feeling crept in. Suddenly, the scene shifted dramatically. The cheerful sounds faded away as darkness enveloped the path. Shadows loomed ominously around me, as if warning me not to proceed further. The camera jerked forward abruptly, revealing two diverging paths ahead, one bright and inviting, the other shrouded in darkness. As I watched intently, a figure appeared at the fork in the road, my doppelganger once again. They stood there looking torn between two choices. "You must choose wisely," they said in that haunting voice that echoed in my mind from before. The camera zoomed in on their face, eyes wide with fear and uncertainty, and then it happened. Flashes of potential futures began to play out rapidly on either side of them. On one side, scenes unfolded of joy and success, laughter with friends at celebrations, receiving awards at work, moments of love shared with family. But on the other side were images of despair, arguments leading to heartbreak, job loss spiraling into isolation, and ultimately scenes of loneliness that made my heart ache. As these contrasting futures played out before me, panic surged within me. Which path would I choose? Could I really alter what was destined for me? My mind raced with possibilities as each scenario flashed before my eyes, a glimpse into what could be if only I made different choices. Just when it seemed like I might grasp some understanding of how to navigate this impending fate, the screen flickered violently before cutting out entirely. My heart sank as darkness enveloped my screen once more. Frustrated and scared, I slammed my laptop shut and paced around my room like a caged animal. The weight of uncertainty pressed heavily on my chest. Every choice felt monumental now, like stepping onto a tightrope stretched over an abyss where one misstep could lead to disaster. I needed clarity. Perhaps speaking to someone who had experienced this firsthand could help me make sense of everything swirling in my mind. That's when I remembered FutureSeer's cryptic messages about knowledge being both a gift and a curse. Taking a deep breath, I decided to reach out again. What do you know about these videos? How can one change their fate? Minutes felt like hours as I waited for a response. Finally, my screen lit up. Meet me at midnight at the old oak tree. A sense of foreboding washed over me. What did they want? Why meet in person? But deep down inside me was an insatiable need for answers, a desire to confront whatever this darkness was head on. As night fell over the town and shadows stretched across my room once more, fear mingled with anticipation within me. The old oak tree stood at the edge of town, a place whispered about in local legends. Some said it was cursed, while others believed it held ancient wisdom. At precisely midnight, I found myself standing beneath its gnarled branches, illuminated by moonlight filtering through leaves that rustled softly in the night breeze. The air felt charged with energy. Every sound echoed eerily around me. "Are you here?" A voice broke through the silence. A figure emerged from behind the tree's massive trunk. It was Future Seer, a hooded figure whose face remained obscured by shadows, but whose presence radiated an aura of foreboding wisdom. "You came," they said softly yet firmly. "You seek answers." "Yes," I replied hesitantly. "I need to understand what these videos mean." Future Seer stepped closer. Their voice dropped to a whisper, as if afraid someone might overhear us even though we were alone beneath this ancient sentinel of time. "Knowledge is powerful but dangerous," they warned gravely. "What you've seen is only part of your reality." "What do you mean?" My heart raced as questions flooded my mind. "Every choice creates ripples," they explained cryptically. "You have glimpsed potential futures, but those futures are not set in stone." I felt both relieved and terrified by this revelation. Perhaps there was still hope for change after all, but how could one alter their destiny? "By understanding your fears," Future Seer continued thoughtfully. "You must confront them head on." What if confronting them leads to worse outcomes? Panic bubbled within me as doubt crept back into my thoughts. "Then you must face those outcomes too," they replied calmly yet firmly, an unwavering conviction resonating within their words. As we stood there beneath that ancient tree, surrounded by shadows dancing under moonlight, I realized something profound. Facing fear wasn't just about avoiding pain, it was about embracing life fully, even when darkness loomed ahead, threateningly close behind us. With newfound determination igniting within me, I took a step forward toward this enigmatic figure who held keys to unraveling mysteries surrounding those haunting videos, the keys that might unlock pathways toward brighter futures, waiting just beyond reach if only courage prevailed against despair, lurking nearby. This segment expands on your protagonist's journey into understanding their future while exploring themes of choice and consequence further. Let me know if you need any changes or additional segments. The air was thick with tension as I stood beneath the old oak tree, its gnarled branches stretching out like skeletal fingers against the night sky. Future Seer's presence felt both comforting and unsettling, a paradox that mirrored my own tumultuous emotions. "You must embrace your fears," they repeated, their voice low and steady. "Only then can you alter the path ahead." "What do you mean by embracing my fears?" I asked, confusion swirling in my mind. "How can I confront something I don't even fully understand?" Future Seer stepped closer, their hood casting a shadow over their face. "You've seen glimpses of what could be both good and bad. But those visions are not definitive, they are reflections of your own anxieties and choices. To change your future, you must first confront what haunts you." I took a deep breath, trying to steady my racing heart. But how? How do I confront something that feels so overwhelming? "By facing it directly," they replied, gesturing toward the darkness beyond the tree. "What are you afraid of? What do those videos reveal about your deepest fears?" I hesitated, grappling with the weight of their words. The visions from the video replayed in my mind, the arguments with loved ones, the loneliness, the despair. Each scene was a mirror reflecting parts of myself that I had tried to ignore. "I'm afraid of losing everything," I finally admitted, my voice barely above a whisper, "of making choices that lead to regret." "Then you must explore those regrets," Future Seer urged. "Seek out what you fear most and face it head on. Only then can you reclaim control over your destiny." A chill ran down my spine at their words, but a flicker of determination ignited within me. If I wanted to change my future, I needed to confront these fears instead of running from them. "Where do I start?" I asked, feeling an unfamiliar sense of resolve. "Begin with the people closest to you," Future Seer suggested cryptically. "The ones whose paths intertwine with yours." With that guidance echoing in my mind, I left the old oak tree feeling both terrified and empowered. The night air was cool against my skin as I made my way home, thoughts swirling around like leaves caught in a storm, confronting loved ones. The next day, I knew what I had to do. I reached out to my closest friends, Jake and Mia, inviting them over for dinner under the pretense of wanting to catch up. As much as I dreaded it, I understood that confronting my fears meant being honest about my feelings and vulnerabilities. When they arrived later that evening, laughter filled my small apartment as we reminisced about old times and shared stories over pizza and drinks. But beneath the surface cheerfulness lay an undercurrent of tension. I could feel it coiling around me like a serpent ready to strike. After dinner, as we settled into the living room with glasses of wine in hand, I decided it was time to open up. "Hey guys," I started hesitantly, glancing between them. "I've been going through some stuff lately." Mia looked concerned immediately. She set her glass down and leaned forward. "What's going on? You can talk to us." Taking a deep breath, I plunged into the depths of my fears, the videos from the dark web, the haunting visions of potential futures filled with regret and despair. As I spoke, their expressions shifted from confusion to concern. "You're telling us you saw a video that showed your future?" Jake asked incredulously after I finished recounting my experience. "It sounds insane," Mia added softly, her brow furrowed with worry. "But if it's affecting you this much, maybe we should help." Their support felt like a lifeline thrown into turbulent waters. Still, doubt gnawed at me. What if it's too late? What if those futures are inevitable? "Nothing is set in stone," Jake said firmly. "You have control over your choices. We'll figure this out together." Mia nodded enthusiastically. "Let's make a plan. We can tackle whatever is haunting you head on." Feeling a surge of gratitude for their unwavering support, we spent hours discussing ways to confront my fears, ways to ensure that those dark futures never became reality. Facing regrets. In the days that followed, we devised a strategy. Each week would focus on confronting one fear or regret at a time. The first target was simple yet daunting: reconnecting with family members whom I'd distanced myself from over trivial disagreements. One evening after work, armed with courage and some encouragement from Jake and Mia, I called my estranged brother, Alex, a conversation long overdue but fraught with anxiety. "Hey," he answered cautiously after several rings. "Hey," I replied nervously, heart pounding in my chest. I wanted to talk. About everything. Silence stretched between us like an unbridgeable chasm before he finally spoke again. "What do you mean?" "I know we haven't been close lately," I admitted slowly, "and it's really weighing on me. Can we meet up? Talk things through?" There was another pause before he sighed heavily on the other end of the line, a sound filled with resignation mixed with hopefulness. "Yeah. Okay, let's meet tomorrow." Relief washed over me. This was just one step toward healing fractured relationships, but it felt monumental nonetheless. The meeting. The next day dawned bright and clear, a stark contrast to the storm brewing inside me as I approached our meeting spot, a small cafe we used to frequent during childhood. As soon as Alex walked in, tall and slightly disheveled, I felt an overwhelming wave of nostalgia hit me. Hard memories flooded back, unbidden laughter shared over milkshakes and fries, but also shadows of arguments long buried beneath layers of hurt feelings. "Hey," he greeted awkwardly as he sat down across from me. "Hey," I replied softly before diving into an explanation about how much our distance had affected me, how regret gnawed at me every day for not reaching out sooner. To my surprise, he listened intently without interruption, his expression shifting from guardedness to understanding as we spoke honestly about our feelings, the misunderstandings that had driven us apart, and ultimately our desire to reconnect. By the end of our conversation, I felt lighter than air. Perhaps facing these fears wasn't so terrifying after all. It was liberating. As we parted ways, I couldn't help but smile. This was just one step toward reclaiming control over my future, and there were many more steps ahead waiting for me. The next challenge. Over the following weeks, I continued confronting other fears alongside Jake and Mia's unwavering support, each challenge building upon another, until something remarkable began happening. Clarity emerged amidst chaos. We tackled different aspects of life together, from confronting past mistakes at work to addressing insecurities within relationships. It all felt empowering. But there remained one lingering fear, a shadow lurking just out of reach that kept whispering doubts into my ear. What if confronting these issues only led back down dark paths shown in those videos? One night, while lying awake, I decided enough was enough. It was time for another visit to Future Seer to seek further guidance on how best navigate this treacherous terrain without falling prey again. seeking guidance again. As midnight approached, I found myself back beneath the old oak tree, once more the air heavy with anticipation mixed with trepidation as shadows danced around me once again. Future Seer appeared almost instantly, emerging from darkness like an apparition summoned forth by desperation alone. Their hood obscured their face, but somehow conveyed warmth despite its foreboding nature. "You've returned," they said softly yet firmly, eyes glinting beneath shadowy depths, a knowing look passing between us as if recognizing shared burdens carried silently within our souls. "I need help," I confessed urgently, my heart racing once more at thought confronting unknowns still lingering ahead, despite progress made thus far. "What troubles you?" Future Seer asked patiently, an enigmatic smile playing at corners hidden beneath shadows cast by moonlight filtering through branches above us. "I'm afraid that confronting these fears will only lead back down paths shown in those videos," I admitted, shakily, voice trembling slightly under weight, uncertainty pressing heavily upon chest like an anchor threatening drag me deeper into abyss below. Future Seer regarded me thoughtfully before responding. "Fear is merely an illusion created by your mind. It can be transformed into strength if faced directly rather than avoided." "What do you mean?" Confusion swirled within me once more, a tempest brewing just beneath surface calm exterior maintained thus far. "The choices you make now shape not only your present, but also influence future outcomes." They gestured toward darkness, surrounding us, the very shadows where nightmares lurked, waiting patiently for moments weakness reveal themselves, fully before striking decisively when least expected. "You have power over them." Their voice resonated deeply within soul, igniting flames, courage once more reminding me why I embarked upon this journey initially, despite obstacles encountered along the way. "But how?" Desperation tinged urgency behind question, asked quietly yet firmly, seeking answers hidden within depths mystery still shrouded around every corner faced thus far. "By embracing uncertainty." Their gaze pierced through layers, doubt clouding judgment, urging clarity emerge from chaos surrounding us both, now intertwined amidst shadows cast overhead above, where stars twinkled brightly, illuminating path ahead, beckoning forth new beginnings waiting patiently just beyond reach. With newfound determination surging through veins, I nodded resolutely, ready face whatever lay ahead, unflinchingly willing embrace challenges awaiting discovery, a long winding road leading toward brighter futures promised yet unseen. This segment focuses on the protagonist's journey towards confronting their fears and reconnecting with loved ones while seeking guidance from Future Seer once again. Let me know if you'd like any changes or additional segments. With a renewed sense of purpose, I stood beneath the old oak tree, ready to embrace whatever challenges lay ahead. Future Seer's words echoed in my mind. By embracing uncertainty, it was time to confront the shadows that loomed over my life and take control of my destiny. The next step. In the days that followed, I focused on tackling my fears head-on. Each week brought new challenges, but I felt increasingly empowered with every step I took. Jake and Mia were my steadfast allies, encouraging me to face uncomfortable truths and embrace vulnerability. However, there was one lingering fear that gnawed at me, a fear that had been festering in the back of my mind since I first watched those dark web videos. I decided it was time to confront my deepest fear, the fear of failure. It wasn't just about personal ambitions, it was about the relationships I held dear. What if my choices led to isolation and regret? What if I lost everything because I couldn't make the right decisions? One evening, while sitting in my living room with Jake and Mia, I broached the topic. "I think we need to talk about failure," I said, my voice steady despite the anxiety bubbling beneath the surface. "What do you mean?" Jake asked, his brow furrowing in concern. "I mean, what if all these choices we're making don't lead to anything good? What if we end up worse off than before?" My heart raced as I spoke. Mia reached over and squeezed my hand reassuringly. "We can't predict the future, but we can learn from our mistakes. That's what makes us stronger." "Yeah," Jake added, nodding vigorously. "Every failure is just a stepping stone to success. We've got your back, no matter what happens." Their encouragement bolstered my resolve. "Okay," I said, taking a deep breath. "Let's face this fear together. The fear of failure." The following week, we organized a gathering with friends, people from different parts of my life who had witnessed both my successes and failures. The idea was to create a safe space where we could share our experiences openly, an opportunity to confront our fears collectively. As friends trickled into my apartment, laughter filled the air, but beneath it lay an undercurrent of tension. I could feel it, the weight of unspoken words and hidden insecurities lingering just below the surface. Once everyone settled down with drinks in hand, I stood up to address them. "Thanks for coming, everyone. Tonight is about confronting our fears, specifically our fears of failure. A hush fell over the room as curious glances exchanged among friends. We all have moments when we feel like we've let ourselves down or missed opportunities, I continued. But instead of hiding from those feelings, let's talk about them. One by one, stories began to unfold, each tale revealing vulnerabilities that resonated deeply within me. A friend shared how they had failed their first college course and felt like a complete failure for months afterward. Another recounted a failed relationship that left them questioning their worth. As each story was shared, I felt a sense of camaraderie building among us, a collective understanding that failure was not an endpoint but merely a chapter in our lives. When it came time for me to share my own experiences, I hesitated for a moment before diving into my journey, the dark web videos that had haunted me, and how they had pushed me toward confronting my fears. I've seen visions of what could happen if I don't change, I admitted shakily. But tonight, I want to focus on how we can learn from our failures instead of letting them define us. The room fell silent as everyone listened intently. It felt cathartic to lay bare my insecurities in front of those who cared about me. A moment of connection. As the night wore on and more stories were shared, something remarkable happened. Laughter began to fill the gaps left by fear. We bonded over our shared experiences, finding strength in vulnerability, and slowly but surely began to dismantle the walls we had built around ourselves. By the end of the evening, I felt lighter than air. Confronting those fears had transformed them into something manageable rather than insurmountable obstacles looming ahead. But just as I was beginning to feel hopeful again, a sudden chill swept through the room, a reminder that darkness still lingered nearby, waiting patiently for moments weakness reveal themselves, fully before striking decisively when least expected. The return of shadows. That night, as everyone left, I couldn't shake off an unsettling feeling creeping back into my thoughts, a familiar dread lurking just out of sight, like shadows dancing on walls illuminated only by flickering candlelight remnants left behind after gathering ended. I decided it was time for another visit with Future Seer to seek guidance once more regarding lingering doubts still clouding judgment, despite progress made thus far. As midnight approached, I found myself back beneath that ancient tree, the air thick with anticipation mixed with trepidation as shadows danced around me once again. Future Seer appeared almost instantly, emerging from darkness like an apparition summoned forth by desperation alone. Their hood obscured their face, but somehow conveyed warmth despite its foreboding nature. "You faced your fears," they said softly yet firmly, eyes glinting beneath shadowy depths, a knowing look passing between us, as if recognizing shared burdens carried silently within our souls. "But there's still something haunting me," I confessed urgently, my heart racing once more at thought confronting unknowns still lingering ahead despite progress made thus far. "What troubles you?" Future Seer asked patiently, an enigmatic smile playing at corners hidden beneath shadows cast by moonlight filtering through branches above us. "I'm afraid that no matter how hard I try, I'll still end up back where I started," I admitted shakily, voice trembling slightly under weight, uncertainty pressing heavily upon chest, like an anchor threatening drag me deeper into abyss below. Future Seer regarded me thoughtfully before responding. "Fear is merely an illusion created by your mind. It can be transformed into strength if faced directly rather than avoided." "What do you mean?" Confusion swirled within me once more, a tempest brewing just beneath surface calm exterior maintained thus far. "The choices you make now shape not only your present, but also influence future outcomes." They gestured toward darkness surrounding us, the very shadows where nightmares lurked, waiting patiently for moments weakness reveal themselves, fully before striking decisively when least expected. "You have power over them." Their voice resonated deeply within soul, igniting flames, courage once more reminding me why I embarked upon this journey initially, despite obstacles encountered along way. And a new revelation. With newfound determination surging through veins, I nodded resolutely, ready face whatever lay ahead, unflinchingly willing embrace challenges awaiting discovery, a long winding road leading toward brighter futures promised yet unseen. But just as hope began blooming anew, a sudden realization struck me like lightning, illuminating darkened skies overhead. What if those videos weren't just reflections of potential futures, but warnings meant to guide me toward choices leading away from despair? What if they're not just visions? I asked, suddenly, eyes widening with dawning comprehension as pieces began falling into place within tangled web reality spun around us, both now intertwined amidst shadows cast overhead. Above, where stars twinkled brightly, illuminating path ahead, beckoning forth new beginnings waiting patiently just beyond reach. Reach. Future Seer smiled knowingly at this revelation, a glimmer of approval shining through shadowy depths obscuring their features completely. Perhaps there was truth hidden within darkness, after all, wisdom waiting patiently for someone brave enough to venture forth, seek answers hidden behind layers, uncertainty shrouding every corner faced thus far. Yes, they replied softly yet firmly, eyes glinting with understanding, as if recognizing shared burdens carried silently within our souls, now intertwined amidst shadows cast overhead above, where stars twinkled brightly, illuminating path ahead, beckoning forth new beginnings waiting patiently just beyond. Reach. With newfound clarity igniting flames, courage burning brightly within, I felt ready to confront whatever lay ahead, unflinchingly willing embrace challenges awaiting discovery, a long winding road leading toward brighter futures promised yet unseen. The final confrontation. As dawn broke over horizon, painting skies brilliant hues orange gold, I knew it was time for one last confrontation, the final piece puzzle, needed complete journey toward reclaiming control over destiny once lost amidst darkness, lurking nearby, threatening drag me deeper into abyss below. I returned home feeling invigorated yet apprehensive about what awaited next. This would be no ordinary day. It would mark culmination, everything learned thus far culminating into powerful moment clarity, revealing truths long buried beneath layers, doubt, fear, uncertainty shrouding every corner faced thus far. That evening I gathered Jake and Mia once more, this time inviting them into sacred space created within walls familiar, yet transformed by newfound understanding gained throughout journey undertaken together thus far. We need to talk about everything, I said firmly as soon as they arrived, determined not let fear dictate course anymore. What do you mean? Jake asked curiously, while Mia nodded eagerly beside him, ready support whatever came next too. I've realized something important, I continued, taking deep breaths, steadying nerves racing wildly inside chest, pounding rhythm, echoing heartbeat, thrumming loudly against eardrums, amplifying urgency behind message, needing convey clearly without hesitation anymore. Those videos weren't just reflections, they were warnings meant to guide us toward better choices, leading away despair. A hush fell over room as realization sank deep into hearts, minds gathered here tonight, all aware, stakes raised higher than ever before, yet emboldened courage, igniting flames burning brightly within souls, ready face whatever lay ahead, unflinchingly willing embrace challenges awaiting discovery along winding road leading toward brighter futures promised yet unseen. From now on we'll make choices consciously aware, consequences ripple outward, affecting lives intertwined, ours forevermore. With newfound determination surging through veins, we forged pact together, united front against darkness looming nearby, threatening drag us deeper into abyss below. Together we would confront whatever awaited next, knowing strength, derived unity, forged bonds, friendship, love, guiding light, illuminating path ahead, beckoning forth new beginnings waiting patiently just beyond reach. This segment focuses on the protagonists' continued journey toward confronting their fears and ultimately realizing that their past experiences can serve as warnings rather than definitive outcomes. Let me know if you need any adjustments or additional segments. With the pact forged among us, I felt an electrifying surge of hope coursing through my veins. The darkness that had once loomed so heavily over my life now felt more manageable, as if we were standing together against a storm that could be weathered. Jake, Mia, and I were ready to confront whatever awaited us, armed with the knowledge that we had each other's backs. The plan. Over the next few days, we meticulously crafted a plan to face our fears head-on. We would each take turns confronting our deepest anxieties while supporting one another through the process. It felt like an expedition into uncharted territory, but this time we were equipped with the tools of understanding and solidarity. Our first target was a group of acquaintances I had been avoiding for months, friends from college who had drifted away after a series of misunderstandings. I had let pride and fear dictate my actions, but now it was time to reach out and mend those broken connections. Let's invite them over, I suggested one evening while we were gathered in my living room. It's time to clear the air. Jake and Mia exchanged glances before nodding in agreement. We'll make it a casual get-together, Mia said enthusiastically. Just some food and drinks. It'll be fun. As the day of the gathering approached, anxiety bubbled within me like a pot about to boil over. I spent hours preparing, cleaning the apartment, cooking snacks, and trying to calm my racing heart. When the doorbell finally rang that evening, I felt as if I were standing on the edge of a cliff, ready to leap into the unknown. Reconnecting. When my old friends arrived, smiling and laughing, it felt surreal. We exchanged awkward hellos at first, but as drinks flowed and stories were shared, tension began to dissipate. We reminisced about our college days, the good times overshadowing the misunderstandings that had driven us apart. But as laughter filled the room, I knew it was time to address the elephant in the room. "Hey everyone," I said, raising my glass slightly to get their attention. "I want to talk about why we've all been distant lately." The atmosphere shifted as everyone turned to look at me, curiosity mixed with apprehension written across their faces. "I know there have been misunderstandings between us," I continued, feeling my heart race, "and I want to apologize for my part in that." There was a moment of silence before one of my friends spoke up. "We've all made mistakes," she said gently, "but it feels good to be here together again." Encouraged by her response, I pressed on. "I've been struggling with some personal issues lately, things that made me pull away from everyone." My voice quivered slightly as I spoke about my experiences with fear and regret, the dark web videos that had haunted me, and how they had pushed me toward confronting my vulnerabilities. As I shared my story, something remarkable happened. Instead of judgment or ridicule, I was met with understanding and empathy. One by one, my friends opened up about their own struggles, how they too had faced fears of failure and loneliness. By the end of the evening, we had not only rekindled old friendships but also forged deeper connections through shared vulnerability. As they left that night, I felt lighter than air, like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. The dark web again. However, as much as I wanted to bask in this newfound sense of belonging, there remained an unsettling feeling deep within me, a lingering dread connected to those dark web videos that still haunted my thoughts. It was time for one final confrontation with future Seer. I needed answers regarding what lay ahead now that I was actively making choices to change my path. That night, beneath the old oak tree, once more I waited anxiously for future Seer's arrival. As expected, they emerged from shadows cloaked in mystery, a figure both familiar yet enigmatic. As always, their presence felt like a beacon guiding me through uncertainty once more. "You've faced your fears," they said softly yet firmly, eyes glinting beneath shadowy depths, a knowing look passing between us, as if recognizing shared burdens carried silently within our souls, now intertwined amidst shadows cast overhead above, where stars twinkled brightly, illuminating path ahead, beckoning forth new beginnings waiting patiently just beyond reach. "But there's still something gnawing at me," I confessed urgently, my heart racing once more at thought, confronting unknowns still lingering ahead, despite progress made thus far. "What troubles you?" future Seer asked patiently, an enigmatic smile playing at corners hidden beneath shadows cast by moonlight filtering through branches above us. "I need to know what happens next," I admitted, shakily, voice trembling slightly under weight, uncertainty pressing heavily upon chest like an anchor threatening drag me deeper into abyss below. Future Seer regarded me thoughtfully before responding. "The choices you make now shape not only your present but also influence future outcomes." They gestured toward darkness surrounding us, the very shadows where nightmares lurked, waiting patiently for moments weakness reveal themselves fully before striking decisively when least expected. "You have power over them." Their voice resonated deeply within soul, igniting flames, courage once more reminding me why I embarked upon this journey initially, despite obstacles encountered along the way. The final choice. With newfound determination surging through veins, I nodded resolutely, ready face whatever lay ahead, unflinchingly willing embrace challenges awaiting discovery along winding road, leading toward brighter futures promised yet unseen. But just as hope began blooming anew, a sudden realization struck me like lightning, illuminating darkened skies overhead. What if those videos weren't just reflections of potential futures, but warnings meant to guide me toward choices leading away from despair? What if they're not just visions? I asked, suddenly, eyes widening with dawning comprehension as pieces began falling into place within tangled web realities spun around us, both now intertwined amidst shadows cast overhead above, where stars twinkled brightly, illuminating path ahead, beckoning forth new beginnings waiting patiently just beyond reach. "All." Future Seer smiled knowingly at this revelation, a glimmer of approval shining through shadowy depths, obscuring their features completely. Perhaps there was truth hidden within darkness, after all, wisdom waiting patiently for someone brave enough venture forth, seek answers hidden behind layers, uncertainty shrouding every corner faced thus far. "Yes," they replied softly yet firmly, eyes glinting with understanding, as if recognizing shared burdens carried silently within our souls, now intertwined amidst shadows cast overhead above, where stars twinkled brightly, illuminating path ahead, beckoning forth new beginnings waiting patiently just beyond reach. With newfound clarity igniting flames, courage burning brightly within, I felt ready to confront whatever lay ahead, unflinchingly willing embrace challenges awaiting discovery along winding road leading toward brighter futures promised yet unseen. The climax approaches. As dawn broke over horizon painting skies brilliant hues orange gold, I knew it was time for one last confrontation. The final piece puzzle needed complete journey toward reclaiming control over destiny once lost amidst darkness lurking nearby threatening drag me deeper into abyss below. That evening I gathered Jake and Mia once more, this time inviting them into sacred space created within walls familiar yet transformed by newfound understanding gained throughout journey undertaken together thus far. "We need to talk about everything," I said firmly as soon as they arrived, determined not let fear dictate course anymore. "What do you mean?" Jake asked curiously, while Mia nodded eagerly beside him, ready support whatever came next too. "I've realized something important," I continued, taking deep breaths, steadying nerves racing wildly inside chest, pounding rhythm, echoing heartbeat, thrumming loudly against eardrums, amplifying urgency behind message needing convey clearly without hesitation anymore. Those videos weren't just reflections, they were warnings meant guide us toward better choices, leading away despair. A hush fell over room as realization sank deep into hearts' minds gathered here tonight, all aware, stakes raised higher than ever before, yet emboldened courage igniting flames burning brightly within souls ready face whatever lay ahead, unflinchingly willing embrace challenges awaiting discovery along winding road leading toward brighter futures promised yet unseen. From now on we'll make choices consciously aware, consequences ripple outward, affecting lives intertwined, ours forevermore. With newfound determination surging through veins, we forged packed together, united front against darkness looming nearby, threatening drag us deeper into abyss below. Together we would confront whatever awaited next, knowing strength derived unity forged bonds, friendship, love, guiding light illuminating path ahead, beckoning forth new beginnings waiting patiently just beyond reach. The final video. But even amid this newfound strength, a nagging thought lingered at the back of my mind. What if there were still more videos out there? What if there were other warnings meant specifically for me? That night I found myself back at my computer, searching frantically through dark web links, hoping uncover hidden truths buried beneath layers, uncertainty still clouding judgment, despite progress made thus far. Hours passed before finally stumbling upon another thread, discussing videos similar those previously encountered. Excitement, mingled with trepidation, coursed through veins, urging caution, while simultaneously igniting curiosity, urging delve deeper into unknowns lying ahead. I clicked on link leading directly towards file labeled ominously "The Final Warning." As it began buffering, I felt a chill creep down spine, anticipating what revelations awaited beyond screen, flickering ominously before me. When video finally loaded, the screen revealed an empty room illuminated only by dim overhead light casting eerie shadows across walls, surrounding figure seated alone, chair facing camera directly. Heart raced faster than ever before, pounding rhythm echoed loudly against eardrums, amplifying urgency behind message needing convey clearly without hesitation anymore. The figure turned slowly, revealing familiar face. It was me, but distorted somehow, eyes wide filled terror, reflecting fears long buried beneath layers, doubt, uncertainty shrouding every corner faced thus far. "You shouldn't have come here." Doppelganger whispered, voice trembling slightly, echoing hauntingly familiar tone, resonating deeply within soul, igniting flames, courage burning brightly once more, urging confront whatever lay ahead, unflinchingly willing embrace challenges, awaiting discovery along winding road leading toward brighter futures promised yet unseen. Suddenly the screen flickered violently before cutting out entirely, plunging darkness enveloping everything around, leaving only echoes, haunting whispers lingering behind, reminding me choices made rippling outward, affecting lives intertwined, ours forevermore. The revelation. Panic surged through veins as realization struck hard like lightning, illuminating darkened skies overhead. This wasn't just another warning, it was culmination, everything learned thus far culminating into powerful moment clarity, revealing truths long buried beneath layers, doubt, fear, uncertainty shrouding every corner faced thus far. I needed confront Doppelganger head on. It was time, reclaim control over destiny lost amidst darkness lurking nearby, threatening drag deeper abyss below. Determined, I took deep breaths, stealing nerves racing wildly inside chest, pounding rhythm, echoing heartbeat thrumming loudly against eardrums, amplifying urgency behind message needing convey clearly without hesitation anymore. "Who are you?" I demanded, fiercely staring directly into eyes reflecting fears long buried beneath layers, doubt, uncertainty shrouding every corner faced thus far. "I am you," Doppelganger replied softly, voice trembling slightly, echoing hauntingly familiar tone, resonating deeply within soul, igniting flames, courage burning brightly, urging confront whatever lay ahead, unflinchingly willing embrace challenges awaiting discovery along winding road leading toward brighter futures promised yet unseen. No, I retorted defiantly, shaking head, furiously refusing accept reality presented before me. This wasn't who I wanted become, not after everything fought hard overcome so far. You can't escape your fears, doppelganger warned ominously, voice dripping with disdain, reflecting doubts lingering deep inside soul, urging confront whatever lay ahead, unflinchingly willing embrace challenges awaiting discovery along winding road leading toward brighter futures promised yet unseen. Maybe not, but I can choose how face them with newfound determination. Surging through veins, I stepped forward, resolutely ready confront whatever lay ahead, unflinchingly willing embrace challenges awaiting discovery along winding road leading toward brighter futures promised yet unseen. The confrontation. In that moment, a wave of clarity washed over me, illuminating path forward, beckoning forth new beginnings waiting patiently just beyond reach. This wasn't merely battle between light darkness, it was struggle, reclaim control over destiny lost amidst chaos surrounding everything experienced thus far. I refuse let you dictate who become, voice strong, steady resonated deeply within soul, igniting flames, courage burning brightly, urging confront whatever lay ahead, unflinchingly willing embrace challenges awaiting discovery along winding road leading toward brighter futures promised yet unseen. Doppelganger recoiled, slightly surprised by sudden burst confidence radiating outward, illuminating darkness surrounding us both, now intertwined amidst shadows cast overhead above, where stars twinkled brightly, illuminating path ahead, beckoning forth new beginnings waiting patiently just beyond reach. You think you can change, doppelganger sneered disdainfully, eyes narrowing dangerously, reflecting doubts lingering deep inside soul, urging confront whatever lay ahead, unflinchingly willing embrace challenges awaiting discovery along winding road leading toward brighter futures promised yet unseen. I don't think I know, with newfound determination surging through veins, I took another step forward, resolutely ready confront whatever lay ahead, unflinchingly willing embrace challenges awaiting discovery along winding road leading toward brighter futures promised yet unseen. Suddenly the screen flickered violently once more, casting eerie shadows across walls surrounding figures seated alone, chair facing camera directly. Heart raced faster than ever before, pounding rhythm echoed loudly against eardrums, amplifying urgency behind message needing convey clearly without hesitation anymore. The resolution. In that moment, a realization struck hard like lightning, illuminating darkened skies overhead. This wasn't merely battle between light darkness, it was struggle, reclaim control over destiny lost amidst chaos surrounding everything experienced thus far. With newfound clarity igniting flames, courage burning brightly within, I took one final step forward, confronting doppelganger head on, refusing let fear dictate course anymore. I choose hope, voice strong, steady resonated deeply within soul, igniting flames, courage burning brightly, urging confront whatever lay ahead, unflinchingly willing embrace challenges awaiting discovery along winding road leading toward brighter futures promised yet unseen. Suddenly the screen flickered violently once more, casting eerie shadows across walls surrounding figures seated alone, chair facing camera directly. Heart raced faster than ever before, pounding rhythm echoed loudly against eardrums, amplifying urgency behind message needing convey clearly without hesitation anymore. In that moment, a wave of clarity washed over me, illuminating path forward, beckoning forth new beginnings waiting patiently just beyond reach. This wasn't merely battle between light darkness, it was struggle, reclaim control over destiny lost amidst chaos surrounding everything experienced thus far. I refuse let you dictate who become, voice strong, steady resonated deeply within soul, igniting flames, courage burning brightly, urging confront whatever lay ahead, unflinchingly willing embrace challenges awaiting discovery along winding road leading toward brighter futures promised yet unseen. Doppelganger recoiled, slightly surprised by sudden burst confidence radiating outward, illuminating darkness surrounding us both, now intertwined amidst shadows cast overhead above, where stars twinkled brightly, illuminating path ahead, beckoning forth new beginnings waiting patiently just beyond reach. You think you can change, doppelganger sneered disdainfully, eyes narrowing dangerously, reflecting doubts lingering deep inside soul, urging confront whatever lay ahead, unflinchingly willing embrace challenges awaiting discovery along winding road leading toward brighter futures promised yet unseen. I don't think I know, with newfound determination surging through veins, I took another step forward, resolutely ready confront whatever lay ahead, unflinchingly willing embrace challenges awaiting discovery along winding road leading toward brighter futures promised yet unseen. Suddenly the screen flickered violently once more, casting eerie shadows across walls surrounding figures seated alone, chair facing camera directly. Her heart raced faster than ever before. Pounding rhythm echoed loudly against eardrums, amplifying urgency behind message needing convey clearly without hesitation anymore. This segment explores the protagonist's climactic confrontation with their fears and self-doubt while solidifying their resolve to change their future. Let me know if you need any adjustments or additional segments. As I stood there, staring into the eyes of my doppelganger, a whirlwind of emotions surged within me. Fear, anger, and determination clashed like thunderclouds in a storm. This was not just a confrontation with a mere reflection, it was a battle for my very soul. The shadows around us seemed to pulse with energy, mirroring the tumultuous feelings swirling inside. The power of choice. I refuse to let you dictate who I become, I shouted, my voice echoing through the darkness. I choose hope. I choose to embrace my future. The doppelganger's expression shifted from smug confidence to something akin to fear. You think you can escape your fate? You're just running away from the truth. Their voice dripped with disdain, but I could see cracks forming in their facade. No, I replied fiercely, taking another step forward. I'm not running away, I'm confronting it. I've faced my fears, and I know that every choice I make shapes my future. With each word, I felt a surge of power coursing through me. The shadows that had once felt suffocating began to recede slightly, as if they were afraid of my resolve. I've learned that failure doesn't define me, it's how I rise from it that matters. A moment of clarity. As I spoke, the doppelganger's features began to flicker like a glitch in a video feed. For a moment they looked less like me and more like a twisted version of what I could become if I let fear control my life. You think you're special, they sneered. You think you can change what's already been written. No, I said firmly, shaking my head. I don't believe in predestined futures. We create our own paths through our choices. Suddenly the screen behind them flickered again, and images began to play. Scenes from my life flashed before my eyes, moments of joy and laughter interspersed with pain and regret. Each scene felt like a piece of me being laid bare for judgment. But then something remarkable happened. The images began to shift. The joyful moments grew brighter while the painful ones started to fade. It was as if my resolve was rewriting the narrative itself. Stop this, the doppelganger shouted, their voice rising in pitch as they struggled against the transformation unfolding around us. You can't change what you are. Watch me, I replied defiantly, embracing my truth. With newfound clarity surging through me, I reached deep within myself and summoned all the strength I had gained from facing my fears. The shadows around us flickered wildly, as if responding to my determination. I am not just a collection of past mistakes, I declared, feeling an overwhelming sense of empowerment wash over me. I am defined by how I choose to move forward. The doppelganger's form began to distort further, morphing into grotesque shapes that represented all the fears and doubts that had plagued me for so long. Fear of failure, loneliness, rejection, all swirling together into a chaotic mass. You think you can banish me, they hissed, their voice echoing ominously through the void around us. I don't want to banish you, I replied calmly but firmly. I want to understand you. You are a part of me, a part that has been driven by fear instead of hope. The transformation. In that moment of vulnerability, something shifted within me, a realization that embracing my fears didn't mean succumbing to them. It meant acknowledging their existence while refusing to let them dictate my choices. As if sensing this change, the doppelganger paused for a moment, a flicker of uncertainty crossing their features. What do you mean? They asked softly, almost pleadingly. I mean that you are not my enemy, I said gently. You represent everything I've been afraid of, everything that has held me back. But you don't have to control me anymore. With those words hanging in the air between us, something extraordinary happened. The shadows began to dissolve into light, illuminating our surroundings in a warm glow. The chaotic mass representing my fears started to break apart, revealing fragments of hope intertwined within them. I can learn from you, I continued, feeling an overwhelming sense of compassion for this twisted version of myself. You've shown me what happens when fear takes control, but now it's time for me to take charge. A new beginning. As if responding to my declaration, the doppelganger began to transform before my eyes, shifting from a grotesque figure into something more familiar and human-like. Their features softened until they resembled not just a distorted version of myself, but rather an embodiment of all the lessons learned throughout this journey. I don't want to be lost anymore, they whispered softly, voice trembling, as if finally understanding their place within this narrative we were weaving together. You won't be. I assured them, gently reaching out toward this new version of myself, this reflection no longer defined by fear, but rather shaped by resilience and hope. In that moment, a profound sense of peace enveloped us both, as we stood together amidst swirling shadows now transformed into shimmering light, illuminating path forward, beckoning forth new beginnings, waiting patiently just beyond reach. The final choice. As we embraced this newfound understanding, I felt an overwhelming sense of liberation wash over me. It was as if chains had been broken, barriers dismantled, allowing light flood into every corner, once shrouded darkness lurking nearby, threatening drag deeper abyss below. Together we stepped forward into brilliance, radiating outward, illuminating path ahead, beckoning forth new beginnings, waiting patiently just beyond reach. And then everything changed. The world around us shifted dramatically as reality warped before our eyes. Suddenly we were no longer standing beneath old oak tree, but rather soaring high above ground, surrounded by clouds painted brilliant hues, orange gold, reflecting warmth, sunlight pouring down upon us, illuminating path ahead, beckoning forth new beginnings, waiting patiently just beyond reach. "What is happening?" I gasped, astonished, looking around at breathtaking scenery unfolding before us like dream come true. "This is your new reality," Doppelganger replied softly, voice-filled, warmth radiating outward, illuminating path ahead, beckoning forth new beginnings, waiting patiently just beyond reach. But what about those videos? Confusion swirled within me once more, a tempest brewing just beneath surface. Calm exterior maintained thus far. "They were merely reflections, warnings meant guide you toward choices leading away despair," they explained, gently gesturing toward horizon, where sun rose, steadily illuminating path ahead, beckoning forth new beginnings, waiting patiently just beyond reach. Embracing possibility. With newfound clarity igniting flames, courage burning brightly within, I felt ready to embrace whatever lay ahead, unflinchingly willing confront challenges, awaiting discovery, along winding road leading toward brighter futures promised yet unseen. In that moment I understood everything learned throughout journey undertaken together thus far, culminating into powerful moment clarity, revealing truths long buried beneath layers, doubt, fear, uncertainty shrouding every corner faced thus far. Together we soared higher than ever imagined possible, embracing possibilities, awaiting discovery along winding road leading toward brighter futures promised yet unseen. As we flew through clouds painted brilliant hues, orange gold, reflecting warmth, sunlight pouring down upon us, illuminating path ahead, beckoning forth new beginnings, waiting patiently just beyond reach, I felt liberated from chains holding back for so long, finally free, embrace life fully without fear, dictating course anymore. And with each passing moment I knew deep within, heart, soul igniting flames, courage burning brightly, urging confront whatever lay ahead, unflinchingly willing embrace challenges, awaiting discovery along winding road leading toward brighter futures promised yet unseen. Conclusion: a new dawn. As we descended gently back towards Earth, the world transformed around us. Vibrant colors filled landscape surrounding, where shadows once lurked, threatening drag deeper abyss below, now replaced by warmth, light illuminating path ahead, beckoning forth new beginnings, waiting patiently just beyond reach. When we touched down on solid ground, I looked around in awe at beauty surrounding everything, felt alive, bursting with potential, waiting patiently be discovered. This was not merely an ending, it was beginning anew, a chance reclaim control over destiny lost amidst darkness lurking nearby, threatening drag deeper abyss below. With newfound understanding guiding every step taken forward, I felt ready face whatever awaited next, knowing strength derived unity, forged bonds, friendship, love guiding light, illuminating path ahead, beckoning forth new beginnings, waiting patiently just beyond reach. And so I stepped boldly into future, embracing every challenge opportunity presented along way, knowing that regardless obstacles faced, I would always have power-shaped destiny, reclaim life lost amidst chaos surrounding everything experienced thus far. Together we would confront whatever awaited next, knowing strength derived unity, forged bonds, friendship, love guiding light, illuminating path ahead, beckoning forth new beginnings, waiting patiently just beyond reach. This time I would not falter, this time I would embrace life fully without fear dictating course anymore. This segment brings your story to a climactic conclusion, where the protagonist confronts their fears and emerges transformed and empowered. Let me know if you'd like any adjustments or additional segments. The dawn broke gently over the horizon, casting a warm golden light across the landscape. As I stood there, taking in the beauty of the world around me, I felt a profound sense of renewal. The shadows that had once haunted my every step were now mere memories, fading into the background as I embraced a future filled with possibilities. Embracing change. With each breath I took, I felt lighter, as if a heavy weight had been lifted from my shoulders. The transformation I had undergone was not just about confronting my fears, it was about reclaiming my life and embracing change. The doppelganger, the embodiment of my fears, had become a part of me that I could now acknowledge and learn from rather than run away from. I spent the following weeks reflecting on everything I had experienced. The gatherings with friends, the heartfelt conversations, and the moments of vulnerability had all contributed to this newfound clarity. I realized that I was no longer defined by my past mistakes or fears. Instead, I was shaped by my choices moving forward. Reconnecting with life. I reached out to those I had distanced myself from, not just friends but family as well. My brother Alex and I had made tentative steps toward reconciliation, but now it was time to strengthen that bond. One afternoon, I invited him over for lunch, eager to continue our conversation and deepen our connection. When he arrived, we settled into the kitchen, where the aroma of freshly baked bread filled the air. As we shared a meal together, we talked about our lives, our dreams, our struggles, and everything in between. It felt good to reconnect, to share laughter and stories without the weight of past grievances hanging over us. "I'm really glad we're doing this," Alex said, his eyes reflecting genuine warmth. "I missed having you around." "Me too," I replied, feeling a wave of gratitude wash over me. I've realized how important it is to have family in your life. Imagine a new perspective. As days turned into weeks, I continued to embrace this new perspective. Each day felt like an opportunity to grow and learn. I started journaling my thoughts and feelings, documenting my journey of self-discovery, and it became a powerful tool for reflection. Through writing, I explored my emotions more deeply. The act of putting pen to paper allowed me to process everything I had experienced, the fear, the pain, but also the joy and hope that emerged from confronting those dark corners of my mind. One evening, while journaling, I wrote about my experience with the dark web videos, the fear they instilled in me, and how they ultimately led me to confront my deepest anxieties. It was cathartic to relive those moments through words. It felt like a release. Sharing my story. Inspired by my own journey, I decided to share my story with others. I reached out to local community centers and mental health organizations to see if they would be interested in hosting a workshop where people could come together to discuss their fears and learn how to confront them. To my surprise, there was a positive response. They welcomed the idea with enthusiasm and offered me a platform to share what I had learned about resilience and hope. The thought of speaking publicly filled me with both excitement and apprehension. However, I knew this was an essential step in solidifying my own healing process. The workshop. On the day of the workshop, nerves fluttered in my stomach as I prepared to speak in front of an audience for the first time. The room was filled with people from various walks of life, each carrying their own burdens, but also their own stories of hope. As I stood before them, looking out at their expectant faces, I felt a surge of determination wash over me. "Thank you all for being here today," I began, my voice steady despite the butterflies in my stomach. "I want to share something personal, a journey through fear that ultimately led me to embrace hope." I spoke candidly about my experiences, the dark web videos that had initially terrified me but ultimately guided me toward confronting my fears head-on. As I shared my story, I could see nods of understanding among the audience members. Some even wiped away tears as they connected with my words. Building connections. After sharing my story, we opened up the floor for discussion. People began sharing their own experiences, stories filled with vulnerability and resilience. It was incredibly moving to witness strangers come together in such an intimate way to support one another and offer encouragement. One woman spoke about her struggle with anxiety and how it had kept her from pursuing her dreams. Another man shared his experience with grief after losing a loved one and how he felt paralyzed by fear afterward. As each person spoke, it became clear that we were all navigating our own battles, fighting against shadows that threatened to consume us, but also yearning for connection and understanding. A sense of community. By the end of the workshop, there was a palpable sense of camaraderie in the room, a shared understanding that we were not alone in our struggles. We exchanged contact information and promised to support one another moving forward. As people began to leave, several approached me with heartfelt thanks for sharing my story. "You've inspired me," one young woman said tearfully. "I've been afraid for so long. Hearing you talk about facing your fears gives me hope." Her words resonated deeply within me. This was precisely why I had chosen to share my journey, to inspire others to confront their own fears rather than let them dictate their lives. Continuing my journey. In the weeks that followed, I continued facilitating workshops, each one bringing new faces and fresh stories into my life. With every session, I felt more empowered, not just in sharing my experiences, but also in witnessing others take steps toward healing. Through these interactions, I learned that fear is universal. It binds us together as humans navigating life's uncertainties. But what truly matters is how we choose to respond to that fear, whether we let it paralyze us or use it as fuel for growth. Looking ahead. As summer turned into fall, I found myself reflecting on how far I had come since that fateful night when I first stumbled upon those dark web videos. What once felt like an insurmountable weight had transformed into a catalyst for change, a journey towards self-discovery that led me back home to myself. With each passing day, I embraced new opportunities for growth, whether through workshops or simply reconnecting with friends and family who supported me along this path toward healing. And while shadows still lingered at times, reminding me of struggles faced, I no longer feared them. Instead, I welcomed them as reminders of resilience forged through overcoming adversity. A new chapter. As autumn leaves began falling gently outside, I sat down at my desk one evening, ready right again, reflecting everything learned throughout journey undertaken, thus far culminating into powerful moment clarity, revealing truths long buried beneath layers, doubt, fear, uncertainty shrouding every corner faced thus far. This time I wrote not just about fear, but also about hope, the power within each individual capable transforming lives through courage, determination, embracing life fully without letting darkness dictate course anymore. With newfound clarity igniting flames, courage burning brightly within, I knew deep down this wasn't merely end journey, it was beginning anew, a chance to reclaim control over destiny lost amidst chaos surrounding everything experienced thus far. Together we would confront whatever awaited next, knowing strength derived, unity forged bonds, friendship, love, guiding light, illuminating path ahead, beckoning forth new beginnings waiting patiently just beyond reach. This segment wraps up your story by highlighting the protagonist's transformation and newfound purpose, while emphasizing themes of connection and resilience. Let me know if you need any adjustments or further segments.